Sydney from Sid Plans It Out. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to be planning my May budget. Okay, so here's April. My May budget, but first I need to grab some things. Okay, so I need this. This is my list of bills for the month. This is just, okay. Had to make sure that I got everything I needed. Okay, so let's take these pages out. And I've decided that I haven't really been using this page or the back of this page. So pretty much I just taped them together for April. I think in my April video, I said I was going to go back and like fill all those in and do all the things, but I ended up not doing that because I just decided that I wasn't going to use them. So yeah, I'm going to grab, I'm pretty sure this sticker book, Out for Adventure, had like a ton of bullets in it. And I kind of just want some bullets. Well, I thought this, there we go. I was like, I thought this had bullets in it. Okay, so it has circles and squares, which it's not going to focus on, of course. There we go. So it has circles and squares. I think maybe I'll use squares. I feel like I never use square bullets, but I really like them. So let's do that. Okay, so first thing, if you've never seen me plan in my monthly, and it's changed, you know, it's kind of gone back and forth a little bit, but the way I've been doing it for the last month, possibly two, I don't remember, at least the last month, is I've been just putting down all of my bills and like color coordinating them for like each payday kind of thing. So that's what we're gonna go with. And I actually need to look at April. Okay, so this payday was pink. So I want pink bullets for all of these things. So I'm gonna put this to the side for myself. And I will use pink. So there were 3 paydays in May, and also with all of my budgeting, because I only get paid twice, usually, the payday that happens at the end of the previous month usually pays like the first part of the month. It's hard to explain it without like writing it, I feel like, so I will explain as I go, but like, so that payday at the end of April will pay, it's like this, oh gosh, this payday at the end of April needs to pay all of these things. So Patreon, this portion of rent, Discover, Netflix, this portion of City, and this portion of Spotify, and all of Spotify. And I just realized I kind of need to like mark these things off because I paid those with this payday. So I do it based on like, so like this, the blue one, they all get blue. I feel like it's hard to explain and maybe like make sense of, but also it really makes sense for my brain, which is kind of why I do it. And then I just hope that it makes sense, that I like explain it decently enough for it to make sense for other people. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, well, I don't know if that made sense, but I hope it did, is kind of where I'm at. I know, really good explaining I'm doing. Thanks. I'm really great at explaining things, obviously. These kind of match my fingernails. I feel like, yeah. So there's another bill that popped up. It's like a whole $2.99 though, so not a huge deal to add that there. So 2 there, and then Netflix is on the 7th, and I just put them on the day that they're due instead of like the week that I'm going to pay them, because I usually, what I'll do is almost all of these are auto pays. So what I do is like on Monday or Sunday, I'll look and I'll be like, okay, what bills are due this week? Okay, so I need to put that much money from my other account. So I have like another account that I move money from or into. So like when I get paid, I keep whatever money I need to like pay the next week's bills if there's anything due the next week. And then after that, I will move the rest into another account. That way it's not there to tempt me to spend. It's in its own account. It's like not even something that I look at. And then I don't have to like worry about it, worry about like potentially spending it or whatever. So it's nice. It's been working in my brain and really helping me to figure out my budgeting and to stay on top of my budgeting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I should have highlighted this before I drew that circle because this is going to make a big mess. Or that circle, that's a square, Sydney. But I'll just do that. And I know that these are like technically from April, but I know that, so it should work okay. And for rent, I'm just going to do the pink one because I need to pay it. So I don't need to like break it all out because I already have it broken out in April, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not doing a great job of explaining this, but I'm trying. If you ever have any questions on what my rambling self is talking about, feel free to drop them in the comments or head over to Instagram if you have an Instagram and you can message me there and I would be glad to try to explain it better if you're interested. But I just wanted to, you know, I like to put these out there because I feel like there's so many different ways to budget and I feel like there's a lot of people who do budgeting on YouTube, but I feel like sometimes I feel like it's nice to have as many people to watch as possible so you can try to make it work for you, like the way that you need it to work for your budget. So like I know some people that I watch, they have like they'll get paid on, or like, you know, there's different types of budgets, right? Or like different types of ways, like pay cycles, right? So like some people get paid every Monday, some people get paid like every Wednesday, some people get paid, you know, like on Thursdays, and you know, some people get paid every other week, some people get paid every week, some people get paid once a month. So I feel like it's just nice to see a bunch of different ways so you can try to make them like pick pieces out of different budgets to make them work for your budget. So I want to see, okay. This orange is not a perfect match for these bullets, but I think it'll be pretty good. And then let's see, let's do green. Okay, so now, and then I have a green and bullets to match green. Okay. So I'm done with this now because I have all of those things written. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to highlight the next paydays. So I'll get paid on the 13th. And then I'll get paid on the 27th. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think there might be more than just those that correspond to this paycheck. But I need to look. Okay, so here's my little half sheet, which I will write one of these for May also. But this has like this what's need to be paid with this paycheck. So I will need this pink again. So I have my Patreon, I have rent, Discover, Netflix, which I forgot to include iCloud in there, but that's okay. City, Spotify, and then part of Spectrum part of Hulu will need to come out of that paycheck because of where those land. So let's write in payday on these, and then we will continue on with where things go. I feel like I really don't do a very good job of explaining this. Like, I really don't think I'm doing a great job, but I'm trying. So, partial credit, right? Partial credit. Partial credit for trying. Okay. So, there's a bill due here. And on the 19th, I should have like pulled all these bullets out first, because this is gonna take the longest. This is gonna be the longest part of this, I feel like. And the 20th. So it's more like the reason that I color code the bullets with the payday is because like they have to be paid during that pay period. Like the second half of that has to come out during that pay period. It like, that's it. That's when it's due kind of thing. And in my brain, it just works better to have it that way. So 24. Okay, so that's all of them that have to come out during that pay period. So not as many. And then we'll do orange for the 27th. 2 on the 27th. And then 1 on the 28th. And then there will be some in June that need to be paid with this paycheck. So that will be, I guess I need a June calendar. I didn't prepare well for this. Ay, ay, ay. One of these days. Okay, so June. So if we get paid on the 27th, so we'll get paid on the 10th. So everything up until the 10th of the month, I also need to make sure it gets paid with this paycheck. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put bullets, probably just down here, for all of the things that are in June that will need to make sure that I get them paid with this, like on this paycheck. Does that make sense? I really don't know if this is making any sense, but we're gonna try it. 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I'll do 3, 4, and like I know that these are June, so I think that will, like, that's fine with me. Like I could label it June, but like I know that's what it is, so I'm just gonna go with that. Okay, so there's that. Now we need to write in what all of these bills are. So I'm going to do that. So we have Amex. This is Hulu. This is my interwebs. Oh boy, writing is hard. My Kindle. Evergy, which is the energy. Electricity. There we go. I was like, what is that? Ay. Okay. And then Progressive, which is insurance. And then we need Patreon. Rent. Discover. iCloud. So every month I have like the beginning of the month things usually end up on there twice, because like usually end up in the calendar twice, because I need, like, I want to see them from the beginning of the month, but then I also need to prepare myself for the next month. So then what I went through and did, or like what I go through and do, is figure out like how many paychecks do I need to split this up between. So this one is not very much, so I can just pay that in one. Dang, and I forgot to do this again first. Yikes. Oh no. Okay, and then, okay, so Spectrum, that's one that I break up into 2 separate payments. Kindle, I pay in one. Oh shoot, but I messed this up. You guys, my brain power is limited. Okay, so this gets broken up into 2 separate payments, which means it comes out of 2 separate paychecks. So part of it's going to come out of the paycheck at the end of April. So I need part of it to be pink. And then the same with this paycheck. The first half, or this paycheck, this bill, the first half of it will come out of that end of April paycheck. And then the second part will come out of this May 13th paycheck and be paid on that day. And I like keeping these boxes so that I can go through and like check off like, okay, that's been paid. Or usually what I do is I check them off when I like I'll check off this first one when I move the money, because this money is going to have to sit in my other account for a while, right? Because it's not going to be until the 24th of May that it gets like that it's due, but I'm going to save it from my paycheck at the end of April. So I'll check that off like, okay, I put that away, that kind of thing. And then, so this will get paid in two. So it'll get paid with part of that paycheck and then the rest from this. This is a smaller bill, so it'll just get paid with the one. This will get paid twice. And then Patreon will just be one. And rent will be two, because I split April. Like I split the rent for the beginning of May into three, or like my rent for May into three with my 3 paychecks from April, because I had a lot of other things that, like, my sister was getting my sister's getting married in April, so I needed more like extra money in April than I did in May, like than I will in May. So it's just getting paid with the one, or with, you know, these two, and in like the one for the beginning of May got paid with all 3 of my April paychecks. I still don't know if this makes sense. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of explaining it, but I feel like me attempting to explain it and then also writing it out helps a little bit, I hope. I hope it helps to figure out what the heck I'm talking about, because I'm not super great. Like, math and budgeting are definitely not my forte, but I feel like I've been making progress and I'm really proud of it, which is why I have been sharing it online. Also, I feel like it's good. It keeps me accountable when I share it, you know? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this half sheet, just like I have this half sheet for April. I'm going to do this for May. So the first payday in May, first I'm going to wipe this out just because I don't want that there. The first payday in May is May 13th. So we'll write that here. And I know that you can't see everything all at once. I'm going to attempt to make it so you can. All right. So May 13th, this paycheck needs to pay part of Spectrum. So the whole bill for Spectrum is $74. So like the whole bill for Spectrum is $74.99. So that means $37.50 from each paycheck needs to, like, is how I've been splitting it. So $37.50. And then Kindle, that's just $9.99. So I just pay that with the paycheck that comes before it. Oh, I skipped that one. Whoops. That's okay. We'll just put it here. Amex is $50, so I could split it, but I've kind of just been doing it as one. And it's been working okay. So we're going to do it that way. And then Hulu. I hope I'm like kind of in frame. Okay. All right, so then Hulu. So half of Hulu. So the total for Hulu is $77.06. So because I don't want to deal with pennies, I've been doing just $39. And then also because I'm putting it into a separate account, it's almost like it's kind of like accruing interest almost, because whatever's left from like these extra amounts is just staying in that account. So it's almost like building an extra savings account as well, which is nice and I like and I enjoy it. Okay, and then Evergy. So part of that is going to be paid with this May 13th paycheck. So Evergy, that bill has been, it's been between like, it was for a while really stable, and then it got really cold. So it went up a little bit. So I have been budgeting like $75, which is $37.50. And then progressive, so half of that is $50, because that's $100. And then half of rent, which is about $1,100. So $550 should be good. And then discover, half of that is, well, it's a little bit more actually than what half is, because I've just been like putting a little bit more in than what's actually due, which I feel like is a good way for me to, the same with my Citibank card. It's a good way for me to like pay those down quicker, is to just put extra in there. Okay. Now for this May 27th paycheck, I'm just going to write it right here. Okay. So this one will pay the other half of Evergy. So it'll be the same $37.50. And then, and also like I can always adjust these as needed. So like if the Evergy goes down, then I can adjust if I want to, or I can just save more anyway in case it goes back up. That kind of thing. If it goes up a little bit, I can, if it goes up a little bit, I can move some things around. There we go. I like lost my train of thought mid-sentence. Okay. And then progressive will be the other 50. And then this will pay Patreon, just flat out pay that. So $40.01. Gotta love that 1 cent. Rent, another $5.50. Discover will be $87.50. And then we'll pay iCloud, which is $2.99. We'll pay Netflix, which is absurd at this point, I feel like, but it's fine. Based on like how it was when I got it, it feels absurd. Okay. So that's all of those. And then let me just glance at June. So I'm just going to look and see for June. So we'll get paid on the 10th and the 24th. So I also should pay, or should like put away something like half for anything due between the 13th and the 23rd, which would be Spectrum, and that's it, just Spectrum, because Hulu's due here, so half from there and half from this one, but Spectrum is due on the 19th. So if half of it comes from here, the other half needs to come from the paycheck at the end of May. So I'm going to grab one more bullet, just so when I'm looking back on this later, I'm not like, where the heck did I get that Spectrum from? Like, why do I need that? And we'll do Spectrum. And I think this is where I struggled the most when I first started with like budgeting, was how the heck do I figure out what needs to be paid where? How do I make this work? I don't know how to make this function. And now that I've like tried it a couple different ways and all that good stuff, I feel like I understand it better. So I went ahead and drew 2 of them because it's going to be split, but I don't know like what color I'm going to use yet in June. So we'll just leave it, and we will put half of spectrum here, which is $37.50. Okay, so I have everything written out on here. This is all set. It's good to go. So I'm going to put it to the side. And I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And I'm going to attempt to do some math. Hopefully with a calculator, I can successfully do some math. Okay, so I'm going to add all of this up and just put it off to the side over here. That way I know like how much it is, and then I can go through and figure out how much I want to put into my sinking funds and that kind of stuff. Okay, so for this whole paycheck, I need this much put aside for bills. Cool, so I know that. And then for this paycheck, I will need, I'm sorry, I think everything is shaking while I do this, so I apologize for that. Plus $2.99. Oops, that's not right. $46.50. Okay. And then 876.98 will be for bills for that one. So my paychecks are like roughly it's like $13.75, $78-ish, something around there. So if I take, we'll just go with this, minus, so that leaves me $470.01 to use for, or you know, so about $470. That's what I'm going to go with to put into my savings, my sinking funds, and then use for spending. So what's probably going to happen for this paycheck will be I put, let's see, so $470. So I have about, I feel like $235 is plenty of money for me for 2 weeks, if not more than I need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 100 into savings, which I know isn't a ton, but this is just what I'm thinking right now. It also depends on like, you know, what I have left in my account, what extra stuff I have, what I can swing from other places, that kind of stuff. And then we'll put 150 into sinking funds. So 470 minus 250. So that leaves me with $220-ish for like making it through my life for 2 weeks, which I feel like as a single person should be plenty of money. Because what I usually do is go to the grocery store once and buy enough groceries to last me for 2 weeks. So let's say I spend, you know, $75 on groceries. So I have, what did I say, 220, right? Minus 75. That's $145 to spend on, you know, if I need to buy clothes, or, you know, like if I, you know, find some clothes that I want to buy, or stickers, you know, planner stuff. If I want to go to dinner with one of my friends or with one of my siblings or something like that. So I feel like that is plenty there. And these numbers could definitely change. It just kind of depends. Like, this is what I'm planning for right now. So then we'll take this. Oops. Okay, so this one I have more money because this is not as much, right? Because it's just $876. So I have about 500. So 250 would be about half. So, oh, also I don't budget like for gas because I work from home. So I don't really need a budget for gas because I fill up my tank like once a month. Like I don't really go anywhere. and I don't have to really go anywhere. So it totally works for me to not really budget for it and just like, if I need to get gas during that paycheck, then I need to get gas, and it is what it is. And I just, you know, I don't get to spend money on something frivolous that I would have spent money on, especially because I'm giving myself, I feel like $220 is quite a bit. And what did I say? 220 minus, like, if I spend 75 on groceries. So that's like $70 a week. I feel like is pretty good, especially because like I don't buy clothes all the time. I don't buy like, you know, frivolous things all the time. So I feel like this is working for me budgeting wise. So what did I say? I had about 550 or 500. I don't remember, you guys. Oh no. This is what I get for talking. Oh, I had about 500. Okay. So that's like 250. And then 250 divided by 2 is 125. So let's do, so we'll do it opposite this month, or this paycheck. So we'll do 150 into savings, and we'll do 100 into sinking funds. So yeah, so the 500 minus 250, that leaves me 250, which is plenty. Honestly, I'm thinking I'm going to do 150 into each this month. So 500, oops, minus, oh geez, 300. Math is hard. So 200 bucks. Plenty. Again, because 200 minus another 75 for groceries, that's 125. I feel like that's plenty of money as a single person. Now, obviously, I am a single person and I'm not buying groceries or, you know, anything for anyone else. So it's a little bit different if you're, obviously, like, it would be a little bit different if you have a family and you need to obviously like buy groceries for a whole family, and you need to, you know, buy things like, kids are expensive. So like if you have kids, this budgeting system might not work for you. Like you might not be able to just, you know, spend $200 and that's it. Like that probably wouldn't be enough, but it's just me. And so it's a little bit easier, I think, to plan it out. So there we have it. My budget for May is all set up and ready to go. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm feeling definitely, I feel like within the last, you know, since the year started, honestly, I'm feeling a lot better about my budget and a lot more confident in how I'm spending money and all that good stuff. So, with that, this is crooked. Maybe. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this helped someone. Again, please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you don't want to leave it as a comment, you can always go over to Instagram and shoot me a DM. I would be happy to talk with you. I always have my Instagram linked in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, you can hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.